took computer science, enjoyed taking that course, as well as studying hard. We did enjoy our time, and I look back on it with very fond memories, and I've continued a career in IT over the last 27 years. I was diagnosed back in May 2012, but I had the initial symptoms in November, 6 months earlier. I fainted in the office into the arms of one of my male business directors. People afterwards said, you could have fainted into the arms of someone a bit more attractive than him. But it actually took 6 months for the diagnosis, because doctors, I don't think, are that aware of the symptoms for brain cancer. It's £1,000 per MRI scan, so doctors don't want to send everyone who comes into the surgery who's fainted or got a headache. But there are other symptoms, in blurred vision, headaches, fainting, and it's a blend of those symptoms that GPs and individuals need to be aware of, so they can go and see the GP if they've got those symptoms, because the earlier you diagnose, the more likely you will be able to treat, and the greater longevity of life after that. It was a shock. My father, unfortunately, died of a brain tumour in 2006, and he lived a relatively short period. It was a matter of months following his diagnosis. They couldn't operate on where the tumour was in his head, so it was a big shock. The average lifespan is 15 months following diagnosis. I have a marvellous wife and 2 daughters who are now 7 and 9, and it's difficult to explain to them the seriousness of the disease. They know Daddy's got bad cells in his head, and every time I go for a scan they say, have you got more bad cells or fewer bad cells? So it's something that's difficult for children to understand, but it is important that we discuss it with them. Fundamentally, treatment hasn't changed over the last 40 years. Brain tumours are the biggest cancer killer of children in this country. They're the biggest cancer killer of people under 40, and yet they receive less than 2% of cancer research funding. So I thought it was really important to get some focused funding into research to look for a cure. I've appeared on Radio 4, the Today programme, with Susan Short, who's doing the research at Leeds University, because I think the really exciting thing about what she's doing is that it's something that's fundamentally different. It's not just radiotherapy, chemotherapy, craniotomies to remove the tumour. And so it's really exciting that the university is actually doing that piece of work. It's now 27 months since I was diagnosed. Being trained in IT and being a curious, inquisitive type, I've researched so much about what people believe could extend lifespan, and I've tried to find people who've lived for a long period of time and beat the odds. And one of the key things which I believe has assisted that is changing your diet. What you put into your body is the fuel of your body. If you put diesel into a petrol car, then it breaks down. So food and what you fuel your body with, I think, is important to actually not give the cancer the terrain to grow. So I'm now a vegetarian. I don't eat or drink any dairy products. And there is a belief that animal protein is one of the potential causes. People 100 years ago didn't die of cancer as much as they do now. And 95% of what they used to have on their plate were vegetables. And cancer's not as prevalent in Mediterranean countries and Far Eastern countries. And again, they don't eat as much meat. They eat lots of vegetables, lots of fish. And also, unfortunately, I don't drink any alcohol. That's probably been the hardest thing to take on board. And vitamin D, a bit of sunshine is also good, which again is supportive of the reasoning why Far Eastern Mediterranean people survive longer. So get outside, enjoy the sunshine a little bit. Don't burn, but those key areas of vegetarian diet, no alcohol, and vitamin D, I'd say, as well as the good treatment, I've got great treatment through the Royal Marsden Hospital in Sutton. But those other areas, I think, have assisted my longer term survival.